You ever see have you noticed this where you have women now advising other women where they're saying the man should she should know by the first 3 months or 1 month that he wants to marry you and blah blah blah. Look, that's something I've been noticing. I've been seeing that lately, and where they're basically trying to shame men into making a decision into marrying certain women quick. And this is why our space exists, where we tell you you need to be vetting that woman for me, in my opinion, it needs to be past a year, way past a year, 2 years, even in terms of vetting. All that shit when they say, oh, she needs to know within 3 months. No, you better do your vetting. And usually past 6 months, then her true self is going to start coming out. I say for me, it's got to take about 2 years before you even put a title on a bitch. In my opinion, 2 years minimum, minimum, because women they can play a good act for 3 to 6 months. 3 to 6 months is not enough in my opinion, because they can play a. I'm talking about they can really play the part for 3 to 6 months. So right here we have a story here, and it's showing you the importance of, for men, patience. Time is on your side as a man. Time is not on women's side. This is why they advise other women that to basically put pressure on the man, because time is not on women's side. This is why they will rush you to do certain things. Time is on your side as a man. You can be a sickly nigga and time is still on your side as a man than a woman. So right here, you have the story, and it's showing you the importance of vetting and listening, because there'll be a lot of women act like that man don't listen to women, but they do. The smart ones do. So right here, you have a girl. She said, a ninja invited me on a date to go feed the homeless as a first date, because I said once a month I go feed the homeless. So his brain told him that should be a date. If I'm meant to be single forever, I'm okay with that, but please stop sending stupid my way. Now, this is a smart man, because if she was really a decent person, first of all, if she actually first of all, I always say this, if she likes you, she'll go with you. It really doesn't matter where the first date is. If she actually likes you, it's just, okay, what time are you available? If she actually likes you. Now, unfortunately, that would take a lot of men out of the dating market, to be fair, but at least you'll know, okay, she actually likes me, or she's somewhat interested, or she's intrigued by something. There's something there. There's something, whether it's just intrigue, or she's attracted, or she just likes you a little bit. At least it's a measure of, okay, I can just take her to a walk. She's interested in me enough to give me that. You know what I mean? But what most women, the time that they're on selling punani time, or I know my worth time, selling to the highest bidder time. That's what most women are on in this dating market. So this is what, so right there, you didn't pass the test. Already you didn't pass the test. And like I said, a lot of men now are being smart with their time when it comes to dating. A lot of y'all, like a lot of dudes now, they be testing y'all like how women would do to men in the past. You know what I'm saying? Just straight up testing to see if you are who you say you are. And most hoes be lying. So somebody said, bro, definitely dodged a big bullet. Of course. This is the importance of vetting. Vetting is very, very, very important, especially past that 6-month mark, in my opinion. I always say, like, past the 6-month mark, she can't hide who she is anymore. This is why I always say it takes more than a year for vetting. All that shit. Oh, he knew. My husband knew within the 3 months. No, you probably you put on a good act and probably gaslit the shit out of him low key. They don't do it openly, but they gaslight the man that they were with to not really do the research on the bitch. Somebody said, a man incorporating your hobbies, interests in the first date is mad unselfish and rare. You just didn't like him enough, and that's okay. Exactly, because if the guy was attractive enough to you, you would have been like, oh man, he's so sweet. He listens. And she would have been making one of them relationship positive tweets after the date. Let's be like I said, let's keep it real. You didn't really fuck with the dude like that, and you was looking at the dude like, okay, let's see what he's about. Meaning, okay, what is he gonna give me when he approached you? You know what I mean? And a lot of dudes don't understand. A lot of women are on that kind of time. Somebody else said, it's not about the first date. You were never interested in him. If you were, then this tweet would have said men are so thoughtful when they want you. They listen. These are facts. She would have, after, if she actually liked him, she would have went on a date and then literally make a tweet the next day. Men are so thoughtful when they know you. She would have made one of them those kind. You know what you guys know what you could tell what a woman's going through when you're looking at her stories. What kind of memes she posts on her story. You already know what kind of time she on. Unfortunately, women use their social media as a diary, which has been, I think, very detrimental in the dating market, because now men are seeing what women really are, and they're just like, wow, I didn't know. I always use the example with the Ayesha Curry thing. There's a lot of dudes that did not know what type of time women were on before the Ayesha Curry incident, with her talking about, I still want male attention, even though I have Steph Curry. I'm talking about people didn't know, because when that happened, what the women should have been doing at the time, they should have been like, look, we need to rebuke this bitch and act like, nah, that's just her. We not on that type of time. But all the women came out in droves and defended her. And I'm talking about, it was blue pill dudes that did not know. I'm talking about dudes with blue check. Remember back in the day when blue checks used to mean the thing? I'm talking about celebrities with male celebrities, social media stars with blue checks. They were like, wow, I didn't know. I saw the most blue pill dudes. He said, I'm looking at, he literally, I'm not going to say who it was. It's somebody really famous. He's like, man, I did not know that women thought this way. Now, mind you, this guy was like, what, early 30s, late 20s, the social media. He didn't know. There's a lot of men that did not know what type of time a lot of these women were on. With that, I always said that was the catalyst, honestly, with the RP going mainstream. In my opinion, people say it's Kevin Samuels. I disagree. I believe this was the catalyst thing of people starting to come around on our side. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion, because this happened in 2019. You know, so now, like, men are really starting to be hip on what type of time women be on. So right here, another tweet says, shout out to Dude. This is a dope first date. After we're done volunteering, let's go get something to eat to end the night off. What's the problem with that? I'm convinced y'all the problem, an exhausting batch. Like I said, I remember somebody, it was somebody going through blue pill rage on Twitter. It was a dude, and the RP dudes was retweeting him, but they were basically laughing at him because he was just going through it, because he came to the realization that he said, this is the worst batch of women God created. He literally was putting that in his tweets. I didn't save it, but people, like, dudes was laughing at the dude because clearly the dude was going through. He was going through. People want to say RP rage. No, he was going through blue pill rage. He finally was just coming to the realization. He's like, this is the worst batch of women ever. He's like, he said, he said, I'm convinced. And people are going to say, oh, he was on a bad date. No, he probably saw something and it finally clicked with him. Like it happened for me in college. I was really looking and seeing what type of time women be on, and I really started coming to the realization. I'm like, this is where I was like, oh, great culture is a myth. Oh, now I see why these athletes be getting in trouble. Oh, now I see why women it started clicking for me just watching it. And I was just like, okay, I get it now. I see what Patrice O'Neal was trying to, because back in the day, I just considered Patrice O'Neal just like a really hilarious comic, or if he'll say his things about women in general, I'll be like, that's just him, and him living the life of a celebrity, and knowing even then that a celebrity really can't find love. You know what I mean? So, or when Lloyd Banks would have his rap lyrics, I was just, well, you know, as a rapper, those are the type of women you're meeting. But as you grow older, you realize the way they're talking, that's how you got to live as even the average man. So somebody said, wow, the gesture was thoughtful. It wasn't the right thoughtfulness, because no way he thought this was a good idea when you already do this monthly. Oh, so she's giving her a pass. Oh, wow. Of course she's giving her a pass. Nah, I'll say this. Nah, he dodged a bullet. He called her bluff. Shout out to somebody in the comment section that said it. Somebody else said he called her bluff and found out she really superficial, because if she really fed the homeless once a month, she wouldn't found no issues in that, because that's something she genuinely enjoyed doing out of the kindness of her heart. And right here we have another tweet saying, I think the assumption is that helping those in need is something he really enjoys, and he thought that bonding with you over a similar interest, also while doing some extra good in your community, would be a good opener to you. it was stupid for him. It was sorry. It was stupid for him. It had you enjoy the thought. You might have been. These niggas got to use punctuation and shit. Oh my lord. For him, had you enjoyed the thought, you might have been his one, but instead you insist he's stupid. The point of dating is finding common ground to build a foundation. And I hope that young man finds the girl who wants to volunteer on a first date. Well, like I said, that's only reserved for the Chads. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of dudes that really think that most women do want to find they're looking at a broad dating market. I got to do another 13 Reasons Why live stream. I'm going to have to do a lot because I don't think these dudes get it yet. I don't think. I need people to watch the 13 Reasons Why series. But when you watch it, I need you to put a RP lens on when you watch it. And you'll see that Hannah Baker is not a victim. She's not a victim. I'm telling you. Because I don't think people understand, especially when you're talking about today's women. It's either Chad, Tyrone, or bust. Meaning, if it's anybody else, okay, these are all the hoops and hurdles you gotta jump through to get to me. But with the top, who she considers the top dudes or the drug dealers, and the only exceptions she makes, and the only exception she'll make is if you're a drug dealer or a criminal or an absolute degenerate, where she's either disgusted by you or she's intrigued. Those are the exceptions that she'll make. But if you're just a regular average guy, you're going to have to jump through all these hoops and hurdles, and 90 days you got to wait, or you got to wait till marriage, or you got to pay so much. You got to pay so much on a tax on her body that she'll consider. It's Chad or bust. It's Christian Grey from 50 Shades or bust for these ladies. This is why I always reference 13 Reasons Why, because Hannah Baker, it was where her, it was Chad or bust. That's it. That's it. Chad or Tyrone or bust. And by the time she gave the average dude, her good friend, a chance, she was already destroyed. So much so that when they were about to do the deed, she was just so disgusted by her past decisions and really by Clay himself. That's what people don't really like to say. But so where basically she's just realizing this is the best that she could have done anyways. She was just so disgusted that she had the strength to pull Clay off of her. So much so that she ended up listing Clay in her tapes and blamed him for not stopping her from leaving the room anyways. You know what I mean? This is the type of women that we're dealing with in this day and age. Anything I'm talking about the reason why they're going to college and for all these years, the stress that they're putting themselves through at work, they're doing everything they can to avoid being with the average man. Being with the average man is literally like the last resort. When they're in their prime selecting years, they're not even looking for average. They're trying to see how far they can go before they settle, quote unquote, settle. You know, so a lot of men, they don't understand. So with this whole thing about the date being with the homeless, now, if the guy that was working there was a Chad, right? Somebody extremely attractive, and meaning, and it can't just be just because there's Chads that do things like that, and women just find them unattractive because they don't have tattoos. And it needs to be one of those kind of guys with one of those complicated personalities, but that has a lot of 304s becking at his call. And then she finds out by accident he does this. Then she'll do something like that. So somebody with like a wolf, I like to say with the Wolverine type personality, one of those not necessarily troublemakers, but one of those guys with a complicated backstory where people can't really figure him out, and he can beat up people and he'll be doing things. He'll get suspended from school, but he keeps as a secret that he works he volunteers at a homeless thing. Then she would consider a date with that guy to be intriguing. You know what I mean? that's how it would work. That's the only way it would work in today's age. Sorry to tell you guys like it is, but that's how it works.